But it says what? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. That's the thing. All that now, the new, the modern way is taught of how, this place, the West is doing well, but it's completely disconnected from the reality of how they got there. Is they just say like, look, oh, now everyone has the same opportunities. Everyone else has the same chances to basically, achieve the most. The fact that the West is doing it, it's just, it's just that we're just that much more skillful. We're just that much more talented. They're just that much more. We're just that much better than everyone else that does what they're doing. But that's not the reality. The reality is the West came for centuries, chopped up all forms of resources, all forms of wealth, all forms of innovation, took it onto themselves. Then as such, what? It results in you basically get everyone else has been drained of all their worth and wealth. Then afterwards, once you've done that, then you tell them like, okay, now you can build up. So that build up from what? And then you still have it where America is basically being sold, the West in general, Europe, America is being sold as the places where if you want to make something of yourself, that's where you got to go. If you want to enjoy all the benefits of what you're able to build up, that's where you got to go. And that's it. It's like the amount that you make in the West on like a minimum wage job versus when you go to these other countries where you're so-called meant to be on the top, you're so-called meant to be affluent and on some kind of level. It's laughable. Like low level to low level, so like then it's like you're gonna be making like 3-4 times more. You're just gonna be like, why am I gonna stay here and try and build up my spot? You'll try and go and think, okay, I'll build up over there and bring it back. Even people that do that, once you're set up, the claws are stuck in, man. If you get a house, you're stuck somewhere for 25 plus years. If you got student loans, you still got to pay for those things there, man. You might have if you set up a business over in these countries, you're stuck. You ain't just gonna be able to transplant it over into another country. Why? So everything all builds up towards Esau, man. It all allows him to get every benefit, man. And then they'll say like, hey, and that's the thing is you see with these tech companies, that's kind of made it obvious. But you've had it for the longest where they're saying like they'll say, oh, we we have the X amount of innovation. We just do certain things. We just do it ourselves so well. But then you see it with tech, where a company will come up, someone will be doing something, Facebook will just buy them up, or Amazon will buy them up, or a bigger company will just buy them up, then implement it into their company. So all those so-called innovations where guys meant to be able to build themselves up don't really exist. It's all about the guys on the top, the elites, them being able to maximize what they get from everyone else. It says what? Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you, double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her, double. Yeah, so as far as for Esau, what he's going to receive is judgment, double according to what he's done. And those works, people like to forget about it, but hey, the Lord ain't forgotten. Like I said earlier, a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So the 500 years that Esau's been doing his thing, that's like half a day. We're talking about, that's like you wake up, something that happened in the morning after you woke up, we're thinking about it in the afternoon. That shit's still going to be fresh, ain't going to be forgotten. And that's the thing, is the modern world, the way it is now, recently, since after the 60s, they're basically just been like, oh, forget about everything else. Now it's just the way everything functions. It's cool, it's fine. You can go to school, you can get a job, you can make money, you can build up. But it's all about who you know, in reality. It says, for how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's how it is with Esau. Esau said what? Really is trying to sit as a queen, man. It's was it Isaiah 47 or 49, where 47, where it says uncover the fire, and make bare the leg, because what the legs have been made bare. All the Esau's done, how this society was built up, what the reality of what it is being revealed, man. It's a game, man. Everything's a game. That's why it's like when you get into what do you call it? The stock market. You had what do you call it? After the first lockdown started, you had a bunch of meme stocks blow up, and still people are making money off them. Because why? They've basically been highlighting how much of a game, and people are upset, saying, oh, they shouldn't be doing blah blah blah, stigmatizing them. Because why? Because it's like meme stocks just highlights the complete joke that the stock market is. As far as for the reality of it, it's basically you have big huge funds where you have people, super elite people that they don't even have to show who they are. They basically will just put all their money into funds. Then these funds will they put their money into these funds. Then these funds will be doing huge options betting for and against different companies. When the people that know people behind closed doors, they're the ones that know. They've got insider intel. They're the ones that are moving these huge amounts of money, man. So it's like, what, people will be making a killing. You might have the one idiot that tries to latch on, one low level guy that's trying. They might get in on something and try and make money off it. But then what? It's really just a means for the elites to basically continue to increase their influence and wealth. A good movie that shows this happening is Lucky Number 11, because it's basically the main two guys. It was what was it called? It was the rabbi and something else. The rabbi and something else. They were the two main guys that were running the city. They basically had like a juiced up horse that they bet on, and then one guy found out about it, and then he told everyone. Then it got round. They're like, oh, this horse was the one that was bet on. Then afterwards, like once they released, like they were like, oh, hold on, how word get out? They went through and just fucking took out absolutely everyone that was involved in the whole scenario. Everyone that basically heard about it and put money on it, they basically had them all killed off, so that they could just be like, hey, look, when we're doing these bets, when we're rigging these things, we're gonna be able to do it, but you guys can't partake. And that's the same thing. So I said what? So Revelation 18 and 8 says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. She shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Most High Power who judgeth her. Yeah? All the judgments are going to come against this place in a swift 1 hour, man. Where it's going to go from America being the most affluent, well-known, desirable place to what? To coming to be naught, man. To be nothing, to being forgotten. And that's, hey, all that glory is going to turn to ashes. Which, hey, people it shouldn't be such a mystery, man. Job 20. Job 20 and 18. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired. Yeah, so what does it say? That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the rest of that's hey. It's all that Esau's basically been built. All of this empire of the West, mainly based around EU, NATO, and America. All that it's built towards what? It's gonna basically come to naught. And it says what? According to the substance shall the restitution be. All that's been built off has been what? Theft, robbery, murder, war. These things are basically going to be recompensed onto it. That's the thing. You go into Isaiah 13. It says what? As far as for the for all the different forms of madness is done, when these Medes, when these Russians, these different nations have been built up, been set up to bring judgment against America primarily. These guys are going to be moving with no remorse, man. There's going to be no love lost. They're going to be moving with completely raw, man, with no emotion against these guys. Because why? It says what? Surely he shall not, well, I don't think I finished. It says, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away in the house which he builded not. Yeah, the poor is talking about Jake, man. Because as far as for the poor, yeah, it's talking about Jake. It says what? That's the chief target of who Esau's aiming at, man. It says what? Psalm 64. That he may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly does he shoot at him. That's what Esau's doing. Esau's utilizing all these means that he has to come against Jake. That's the main target. They're the ones who are getting fucked over by Esau, which then results in what? Jake being all kinds of fruit, man. Jake being all kinds of fruit, which is something that's been maintained. That's the thing. It's funny. I was talking with a brother the other day. We were talking about what about how when Jake came out of captivity, they were not in as destroyed a state. Imagine, this is Jake coming out of hardcore bondage, just complete and total hell. They were not in as fucked up a state as they are in now. That just shows how consistently Esau's been perpetuating that destruction upon Jake, keeping them in a completely dumbed down state and worsening that state over time. Because that's the thing, for real. It's like when Jake came out of captivity, they still had some form of decorum, some form of a household. They were still maneuvering as a nation. Now they're all kinds of done, man. They're moving like complete and total degenerates. They're basically integrated into the system. They're cogs of the beast system, man. They're working for it. That's why they're going to take them up. That charagma, they're going to jump on it. Anything Esau pushes out, that's what they're looking and adhering to. They're not trying to have their own. They're basically just maneuvering within whatever the structures are. It says what? Take away a house which you builded not. For real, Esau's come and robbed all form of land. When you do all the places Esau set up in now, where he's set up, he ain't set up in Mount Seir. That's not where he's chilling. He's chilling everywhere else but. It says what? Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Yeah, in the fullness of his sufficiency. When the last capstone, man, of Esau's rulership is looking to come in, that's when he's going to be in straits. That's when he's going to be in hardships. That's when everything is going to be torn down. Because as far as for now, it's looking like all these plans are going to come into fruition. And that's how it's looked for the longest. This is why these elites are emboldened, man. They're more impassioned in what they're trying to do They think the Most High is with it. Everything's going off without a hitch. There's a few snags, but they're getting it in. The lockdown has become a complete normalization. The yab is being pushed out. They're now able to mandate it because it's like, yo, deal with it or else. And everyone's so into the system, they'll do it. They don't care about the health. It's not a health decision. It's a compliance decision. It's being able to continue to do what you need to do, do what you desire within the system. That's the reason why people are jumping on it. When he shall be, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him when he's eating. Yeah, when he's eating, when everything's getting like that full plate is being served to Esau, he's thinking he's gonna dice up. He's gonna enjoy all the fine, delicious meats that are prepared upon it. But what? Then all of a sudden, a calamity is gonna come upon it, and that's really what the coldness of it. Because for the people in the world, they don't see it, man. These guys have basically been indoctrinated. They're seeing it as the what do you call it? As this place never ending, man. They're seeing a continuation. They're just like, yo, hold on. Isn't this just gonna run like it's always run? That's how things have been, right? Based on some diddy 20, 30, 40, 50 years they've had on the face of the earth, they're thinking they can then just be like, oh yeah, they're assured that it's going to continue. Despite looking back, example after example after example of shit coming to a swift and violent end. 2 Peter 3:3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. Yeah, they're saying, where's the promise? Because as far as for this word coming out, for these prophecies coming out, this is something that's been going on for the longest. And then it's just like, okay, a few decades of the word going out, they're just then like, oh, you man are still doing that? Yo, ain't you man out here getting money? Ain't you man gonna enjoy the world? Ain't you man, don't you man want to go and see don't you man want to go and see some foreign shores? Don't you man want to go and enjoy the world, man? Get out there and live life. But then what? Yeah, they're saying, don't you man want to go and enjoy life? But then what? It's like, okay, you man go and do that. But then what's your reward gonna be in the end? What you what destiny are you setting up for yourselves? Because all that faith and trust you're putting in him, when this place does come to an end, it's gonna come. You know, you're gonna be taken by surprise, man. You're gonna be caught in the toilet with your drawers down, taking a dump, man, unprepared, completely like that nigga in Jurassic Park, man, where the fucking roof came off. The T-Rex was there, just munched them up. For this they willingly are ignorant of that. By the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world of them was, being overflowed with water, perished. And that's the thing, is even Esau has to concede that the flood went down, man. He's like, it's like, oh, all these different people have these stories, and kind of what I guess there must have been some form of flood or some. That's these things are even in secular history have to be acknowledged. But then what? It's what comes down with that is basically just trying to be like, oh yeah, but they're saying like, oh, but Jonah wasn't in the belly of the belly of a whale, or though guys weren't getting healed, miracles weren't happening. These are the things, basically just throwing slander upon the scriptures. But then what? That's the thing. Is once things come to pass, hey, it's a wrap. The reality of whoever was was telling the truth is going to be brought out. Because as far as for Esau's out here just saying like, oh yeah, no, those things couldn't have happened. Based on what? You guys out here able to talk about the Earth being X amount of billions of years old, and like, oh yeah, 100 million years ago there was a different form of men, and they moved around in this kind of colony, and we found evidence of. Okay, you want to be believing in that based on whatever methodologies you're using, but then the scriptures is complete and total mess. That's how you know this guy's the devil, deceiver. It says, but the heavens and earth which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Yeah, reserved unto fire. That's the flood going down. That's how things went down at that time. But now we're in the time of what? The second death, which is going to be by fire. And that's been orchestrated by what? Nuclear weaponry, man. The nuclear missiles. These things have been built up and developed for a purpose. People are looking like, oh, okay, you know, as far as the nuclear missiles, it's only been tests. And really, it's only been the missiles deploying it. You've not had that nuclear battle, nuclear war take place. That's something that's yet to come to pass. But then what? It's the tools have been made, man. They were made, man. Those missiles were made for an express purpose. That's for what? That this world going down, being brought to an end in fire. Says what? But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that the one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. I went into that earlier. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Yeah, the Lord's not slack, because he's long suffering, and it's what toward he's long suffering to Esau doing his madness, because what? It's for the sake of prophecy, it's so that what in the end Yahushua can be glorified, his name can be glorified, and the kingdom of heaven can be set up. And as well, so that those of the elect can come into the word, but it's just going to be for the elect. Because there's a portion of Jake as well where they're not going to get it. They're basically going to remain enemies. And then what? Those guys are going to be done away with, man. It says what? But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Yeah, it's going to come like a thief, and they come with heat, with fire, with death and destruction. That's how the Lord's moving. You know, come as a thief, and it's going to come like a thief. People aren't going to be expecting it. It's not going to be like a guy's just going to say, okay, so on December 14th, at 3:57 a.m., destruction's gonna come. They ain't gonna be like that. It's gonna come where people are gonna be completely unprepared, man. People are gonna be thinking everything's gonna be bountiful, everything's gonna continue, and be real fun, swell times. Then it's just gonna be like, hey, they ain't gonna happen, man. Those fun, swell times, it's all over, man. We stopped singing along, dancing, partying, having weddings. Like it says in Matthew 24, people giving in marriage and having marriages, enjoying sweet, fun times, just like they did in the days of Noah, just like they've done in previous times where destruction's come. Then bang, it hits them. It's done, man. You go into when Babylon fell, man. Them guys were enjoying a party with all the vessels of the temple, man. Then that got brought to an end, man. That shit was over. It was done. It says what? In the heavens in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? It says what? Looking for and hastening on to the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Yeah, so we're meant to be looking to hasten on to that day. And it's what the year of the hastening and return of our Lord, man. We're meant to be hastening Yahweh comeback. And that's the spirit that's been going out. And it's been hastening, man. Hasten the day, man. Because why? We're looking to get out of here even one day sooner, man. Even 3 minutes quicker. Okay. Wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's really what we're out here, what we're looking for, man. What we're working towards, man. We're building up. We're basically rebuilding that house of David, man. We're closing up the breach. I'll close on that. We're basically rebuilding it because it's what the kingdom of heaven being rebuilt as you see it, man. Right here, right now, being rebuilt back up. And then what? That's basically the kingdom of heaven, man, as well. Because that's the thing. It's the house of David ain't been seen together for the longest, and them coming, Jacob, house of Jacob, house of Israel, and the house of Judah coming back together. That's powerful. That's legendary. Because that's what subjugated everyone else, man. All the heathen got put in subjection, and peace was on the earth, man. So Amos 9, I think I was on verse 10 before, it says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. And that's why in that house is the one that, hey, the Most High honored the house of David. Because why? After the house of Saul, that got put into disrepair. That was done away with. It was like what? The house of David was allowed to bring out what? Yahweh Shai. Where through Yahweh Shai, that's how the Lord, and that's the firstborn, man. The first begotten. The only begotten son. The Most High. So where it's like, yo, he's basing himself. He's put in the position to then make everything happen to bring about the kingdom of heaven, man. And that's, hey, with the Lord having it play through, man. And then what? When Yahweh Shai makes his return, it's going to be cold, man. When the kingdom of heaven set up, it's going to be cold, man. But Yahweh Shai is going to be there. He's going to receive his honor, going to receive his glory. Right now, he's receiving the complete opposite of that. Right now, you got some phony, man, some lunatic running around pretending that he's pretending. Got some phony running around pretending he's the son of the Most High, and the whole world's believing it, man. That's the image everyone knows, man. Whenever you see the movies getting pushed out, whenever you see artwork, all these things, that's what you do. That's the guy, man, Cesare Borgia. But it's gonna be what? Everyone's gonna know him by his true image, man. Like you said, what, his hair like the pure wool, golden girdle, feet as bronze as it burn in the furnace, man. That dark skin, man. That's gonna be known. Because that's something that's been forgotten. These things are details that no one's giving honor to. Other than the little sanctuary the Lord set up. No one's honoring them. But hey, it's going to be switched up to where what? That's going to receive a great amount of honor. And then what? Esau is going to be looked at like he should have been looked at for the longest, man. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh, to do with this. Behold, the days come. Yeah. That's it, man. All the heathen are going to be in possession. Captivity is going to come back, just like Psalms 2 says, man, 2 and 8. Ask of me and I'll give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. Heathen are going to be in possession again, man. That's the thing. It's like Esau's like, oh, you know, he says it's, oh, it's a righteous thing. We ended slavery. Well, it's unrighteous. Because slavery is going to be utilized in the kingdom of heaven, man. Slavery is basically, it says what? Return double upon him, man. It says what? He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. Esau's ending slavery to try and avoid his stint, man. His run that he's got to do within it, man. But hey, the Lord ain't forgotten, man. These things are basically going to come to pass. But yeah, I'll leave it there, man. Say all praise to Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Harakah. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great most on the world. Shalom, man. Lord willing, next week. Be out again, man. Shalom.